Hello guys, this is Reza speaking, and this week I'm going to give you guys a review about a story that I read and a movie that I watched and listened. Okay, this week read story is The Greedy Youngster by Peter Christian Pjorsen. The origin of this story is Norway. Okay, the story follows a strange, powerful, greedy youngster who hatches from giant goose eggs found by five women. At first, the women take care of him, but he eats too much that they send him away. He goes on a various adventure, showing incredible strength like lifting enormous stones, chopping entire forests, eating massive amount of food, and defeating armies without a harm. He works for a king who repeatedly tries to get rid of him by giving him dangerous tasks, like defeating the enemies, collecting ground rent from the devil, retrieving a lost sword from a troll, and staying in an enchanted castle. Each, each time the youngster succeeds. In the end, the king tries to avoid by giving the promised reward. So the youngster kicks him into the sky, where he supposedly still floats with his bag of food. The youngster represents a kind, naive superhuman. He is physically unstoppable, but simply minded and always hungry. Each character he meets, farmer, kings, devils, and Troy, tries to manipulate or escape him, but all fail because his literal thinking and brute force overcome every challenge. The king appears as a cowardly and deceitful ruler who uses the youngster for dangerous missions but tries to avoid paying him. The devil and trolls represent external dangers, yet even they are outmatched by the youngster's strength and straightforwardness. The story also mocks greed, both in a youngster and older. The In the end, the only character who reveals trickery is ironically the greedy youngster himself. He simply acts directly. This is a highly entertaining folktale full of absurd story and comedic exaggeration. The story feels chaotic, but also clever how it portrays the human flaws. It's like I like the the youngster, although he's greedy and careless, but ends up being the most honest character. He fulfills every task given to him, never cheats at work, and never breaks a promise. Meanwhile, the king looks foolish and cowardly, which gives the story a humorous and rebellious tone. The exaggerated scene, like eating 12 bears of porridge, and defeating armies while eating lunch and kicking the king into the sky, make the story memorable and fun. It reads like a satire about power, greed, and fairness. You can read the story in a little book. And then the movie of this week is Dead Poets Society. Dead Poets Society is a 1989 drama film directed by Peter Weir and written by Tom Shulman. It stars Robin Williams as John Keating, an unconventional English teacher, alongside Robert Sean Leonard, Ethan Hawke, and Josh Charles as a student at the elite preparatory school. The film explored themes of individuality, passion, and the pressure of conformity in a rigid academic environment. Dead Poets Society is set in 1959 at the Walton Academy. The boys usually call it Halton Academy, a prestigious all-boys preparatory school known for its strict tradition and academic standards. The story follows a group of students whose lives are transformed when their new English teacher, John Keating, inspired them to embrace poetry, independent thinking, and the philosophy of seize the day, carpe diem. Keating encouraged his students to break free from societal expectations and discover their own choices. Inspired by him, the boys secretly revived the Dead Poets Society, a club where they read poetry and express themselves freely. However, as the students began to pursue their passion, especially Neil Perry, who dreams of becoming an actor against his father's wishes, they face increasing conflict with the authoritarian school administration and their controlling parents. The story builds towards a tragic climax that forces the student to confront of the cost of rebellion and the value of staying true to oneself. The film explores several profound themes, particularly the tension between conformity and individuality. Walton Academy represents tradition, discipline, and the suppression of personal desire in favor of societal expectation. In contrast, Mr. Keating represents freedom, creativity, and the courage to think differently. The film also examines the pressure placed on young people by the parents and institutions, especially through Neil's story, which show the devastating consequences of being unable to pursue one's true calling. Another key theme is the power of poetry and literature to awaken the human spirit and provide meaning beyond material success. The relationship between teacher and student highlights mentorship, inspiration, and the lasting impact one person can have on others' life. The film also raises questions about responsibility, sacrifice, and the balance between following your heart and meeting external obligations. In my opinion, Dead Boy Society is a deeply moving and thought-provoking film that continues to resonate with audience across generations. Robin Williams delivered one of his most memorable and heartfelt performances as Mr. Keating, combining warmth, humor, and wisdom. The film beautifully captured the idealism and the vulnerability of the youth, and it challenged viewers to reflect on their own life, whether they are truly living or merely existing according to the other expectation. While some might find the ending heartbreaking and the message is bittersweet, I believe that is this is what makes the film so powerful. It does not offer like an easy answer, but instead it kind of reminds us that pursuing authenticity and passion is difficult and necessary. And it is a must watch for everyone who knows values about education, creativity, and human spirit. Okay, that's all for this week. Thank you for listening and see